So,
So
that's what they currently pay.
And you're going to say that.
So you would
that's going to chop in half.
That's right. Now, question for Chamath: do you think Mark Zuckerberg has actually changed his residency to Florida?
Oh, I have no idea.
Do you think, we know that that Larry Page definitely did. Sergey Brin probably did, right?
I don't want to comment on Larry and Sergey.
But you said on your podcast that you know for a fact that $1 trillion has already left.
Yeah. Look, there's a lot of my friends. I'm not going to name who they are because I don't think it's appropriate. But yeah, a lot of my friends have left.
You think it's $1 trillion?
I mean, it's in the neighborhood.
Do you think this is going to...
But look, it doesn't matter what that number is. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. The real thing that is going to happen from here is every single kid that goes and starts a YC company is not going to do it in California. They're going to leave. Then there are going to be companies like Paramount who are just say, you know what, enough's enough. Because, again, this is not a billionaire
That's a very
tax.
optimistic founder if they think they're going to get to $1 billion.
This is not really. I mean, these valuations happen all the time. The problem with the way that this thing is written is some kid who actually has a little bit of success and is able to raise at a huge up round, still has no money, all of a sudden is going to be given a $50 million bill. He may be only making $100,000 a year. This is why this law is so dumb. It's just a way of opening the door to go after other people. So the billionaires will be able to sue. There's going to be issues of standing. There's going to be issues of tax. This will take 15 years to meander through the courts at the state and the federal level. So the state of California will accomplish nothing. But in that meantime, they will hollow out the builders and the makers. And then separately, all the upcoming builders and makers will say, on the margins, I'd rather be anywhere else but here. And then separately, I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was this incredible AB study. This was Florida versus Illinois, and it's almost the same like for like, where you look at the same kind of estate, the same kind of revenue, and completely different outcomes. And Florida has obviously done so much better than Illinois. And the question is, these policies don't work. So more of the same will result in more of the same. And I think California will at some point be faced with some sort of quasi-bankrupt moment. And then it'll be up to the federal government to decide, what do I ask for if I'm going to bail out the state of California? Because California technically can't go bankrupt. So all of those bonds, all the muni bonds, all of that stuff, what will the lenders ask for? That's the real question. And I think the way that state is governed today doesn't work.
People have been saying that about California and New York for years. They're overtaxed, overregulated, they're dying. In fact, we're seeing California tax revenues adjusted up because of this huge technology boom. New York the same because of the financial boom. It just, we haven't seen an impact yet from these high taxes.
You haven't seen it yet.
You think we will?
Well, I think the reality is that most people will optimize for their own earnings. They would here's the thing. I think Joe Lonsdale said this on CNBC, which I thought was a wonderful point. If I could give 95% of my wealth away, and I knew that all of these problems would be solved, I'd do it. It's fine. It's not a big deal. The problem nobody wants to give even 10 or 15% away is because we know that it's a joke. It doesn't work. They're terrible at what they do. They should not have these jobs. They should be fired. If there was a for-profit company, you'd fire all of these people. That is the problem. The policies do not make any sense. They are totally ineffective. They're about their own power and their own influence. And to that, I would say, that's completely accepted in capitalism. Go and start a for-profit company.
I know we got to go because we got CPI, but I got to talk to you after this. We're coming right back.